My name is Jody Decker, and I am filming this gentle flow yoga for the York County Library in South Carolina. For today's practice, please grab a beach towel or a mat. Blocks are optional, or maybe a small firm sofa pillow, and then extra padding for your knees should you need it. So in today's practice, we're going to start in mountain pose. So please lift your toes, and then when you go to set them down, we're going to spread them as wide as you can. Roll the shoulders up, down, and back. Press the shoulder blades towards your back pockets and actively reach fingertips towards the mat. This is mountain pose, and it is a very active pose. Lots happening here. Today we're going to start with a physiological breath, which is a really simple breath that's great to keep in your toolbox. It is just 2 quick inhales, followed by a long exhale. That's it, 2 quick inhales, followed by a long exhale. And this breath has almost immediate de-stressing and calming effects on our body. It can actually reduce blood pressure, reduce pulse. So it's a great breath to use throughout your day, not just while you're doing your yoga practice. Once you've tried that a couple times, let's come to our deep belly yoga breath, breathing in through the nose and then exhaling through the nose. Soft eyes or closed. And when you're ready on your next inhale, we'll begin to sweep the arms up and overhead, reaching tall. Exhaling over to the left, press weight into the outer edge of the right foot. Inhale, center. Exhale, other side. Let's begin to flow, slowly moving back and forth from side to side. Remember, there's no hurry, no rush to get anywhere. Take your time, move with your breath. One more to each side. On our next inhale, we'll take the fingertips together, press the palms up, lift, 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 and then reach over to the left, pressing weight into the outer edge of our right foot. Inhale, center. Exhale, other side. This time, inhale back to center. This time, exhale, press the palms out in front of you, round it through the upper back, drop the chin to the chest. Think about pressing your shoulder blades apart. Inhale, back up the center, and exhale, baby back bend. Inhale, center. Exhale, hands to heart center. I have 2 mats set up today just so I can show you different views depending on the pose or the posture. We're going to set up for a moonflower, so find a 45-degree angle with your feet. Toes are pointing to the corners of your mat. Inhale, lift up into a 5-point star. Exhale, drop into the heels, squeeze the shoulder blades together. So inhale, lift, and then exhale, lower and squeeze. Our intent here is to create heat, warm up the big muscles, and perhaps drop a little bit deeper into this squat with each repetition as we create heat. On our next one, we're going to do a sunflower where I sweep the arms in front and I hinge at the hips. Inhale, lift, and exhale, hinge. One more. Big inhale up, exhale, arms come out to the side, sun goddess, relax the shoulders away from the ears, sink a little bit deeper into your heels, and then for a balance challenge, let's see if you can peel your heels away from the mat and balance on your toes. It's not easy. Stay on your toes for an extra challenge, and inhale, lift the arms all the way up, exhale, drop the heels, release hands to heart center. Move your feet now so they're parallel with the edges of your mat, either a fist or a palm on either side of the spine. We're going to come into standing camel. So we'll inhale, lengthen to the spine, and then we're going to exhale, begin to extend, bring the gaze up, and then continue this pattern. So each inhale we lengthen, each exhale we take the extension just a little bit deeper. Our face and our neck should be completely relaxed. make your way back upright. Move your hands to the front side of the hips. We're gonna hinge here from the hips and release into a forward fold. This is a good place to have your block if you need it. Let's walk our hands all the way out in front as far as we can. So we're reaching almost like a wide-legged downward facing dog, firmly rooting the palms into the mat. We're gonna press the hips to the back of the mat, create length in the spine, and breathe. Holding the palms where they are, we're just gonna bend the knees to down puppy. You might feel this shift into the inner thigh. Inhale, extend the legs and begin to walk your hands all the way through. So side view, we're coming under and through the legs, really working deeper into the forward fold. Gently nod your head yes. Shake your head no. And then when you're ready, walk the hands back out in front of the face. This is the place where you want to use your block or your pillow. We're going to take the right palm directly under the nose on the block, and we're going to inhale, sweep the left fingertips up, finding a spinal twist. And exhale, release. Inhale, opposite palm up. Exhale, release. Inhale, left palm comes back up. Exhale, release. Inhale, right palm. Exhale, release. And last time, let's stay here for 3 to 4 full cycles of breath. Maybe with each exhale, working on pulling the shoulder back just a little bit more. On our exhale, release and switch sides. Again, holding for 3 to 4 full cycles of breath, working on deepening the twist with each exhale. Exhale, slowly release back to the center. And let's gently bend the left knee, stretching into the right inner thigh, lengthening, and then slowly switching sides. Up to you if you want to flow with each breath, or maybe it feels good to hold for an entire full cycle of breath on each side. The next time your knee to the top of the mat is bent, we're gonna walk all the way around, framing the front foot, and then stepping front foot back, coming into downward facing dog. Take a second to bicycle your heels, bending one knee at a time. On our next inhale, sweeping into plank pose, lining your shoulders up right on top of the wrist, and then slowly dropping to your knees, and then slowly lowering hips to the mat, extending through the spine, and then up and back into child's pose. So side view, we're in a supported plank. I'm dropping hips down, creating some spinal extension. You can bend the knees and lift them up for a little added, and then send the hips back into child's pose. So we're moving from extension to flexion. Really listening to our bodies, knowing what our endpoints are. Keep going. I'm gonna get my pad for my knee, create a little extra cushion, and let's just do a couple more. And after this last one, send the hips all the way back, Find child's pose and reach the palms around to the heels and pull the heels in. On our next inhale, coming up into tabletop, hands and knees, Shakabakasana or cat-cow. So we will inhale, drop the belly down, bring the gaze up, exhale, tuck it around. Couple more times in each direction. And after this last one, our left leg comes forward, supported lunge. So for those of you with 2 blocks, maybe use your blocks on the long edges. Maybe some of you feel comfortable bringing hands up to the thigh. One step further would be to inhale, arms overhead, exhaling our way into a slight back bend. Continue to press the hips forward. Inhale, hands to heart center. Exhale, shifting our weight back and finding half split. So straightening the front leg, pulling the big toe in towards the chin. Inhale, go ahead and bend the knee, heel toe the foot to the outer edge of the mat. So you're finding lizard pose. We're gonna inhale, right palm up, exhale over, going a little deeper into the hip flexor. And then we're gonna exhale into a twist, looking over the shoulder. So I can rest my hands lightly on my thigh and just sit up tall, looking over the shoulder. Or you could bend this back leg and find a bind, which is going to be a little bit deeper, but you're still gonna take the twist, looking over the shoulder to the back of your mat. So this can be pretty intense for the front of your thigh. So only going there if it feels comfortable today. Exhale, unwind, and then slowly heel toe the foot all the way across the mat, coming into pigeon pose. So remember, when we approach pigeon pose this way, we can turn the back toes under, drag the pelvis back to help equally distribute the weight. We can also bring the shin more parallel to the top of the mat, which is going to intensify the stretch, make it feel deeper, or we can pull the heel in towards the midline, making the stretch feel less intense. So you can walk out using your block, or perhaps even stacking your fist and then resting your forehead. Create comfort. We're gonna stay here for just over a minute. So really settling in, drawing the breath into the tight areas of the hip. And then with each exhale, you're gonna release and let that area relax and let go. Next inhale, slowly lifting the chest back upright. Bring our front knee to join the back knee. Turn the toes under, find downward facing dog. And this time lift both heels up as high as you can and then drop both heels back down. Really stretching through the bottoms of the feet. On your next inhale, go ahead and find plank. Pause and hold for a full cycle of breath. Exhale, knees down. And when you're ready, we're flowing from our little extension, dropping hips to the mat. Pull your heels up, exhale back, child's pose. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. last one. If it felt good to pull the heels in towards your body using your palms, let's do that one more time. Inhale your way up, taking a giant step forward with your right foot, so moving into the supported lunge, opposite foot, option to have tall ends of your blocks, or maybe just bringing your hands here. Maybe you took the back bend on the first side and you would like to do that again. Last big inhale. Exhaling, hands to heart center, shifting back, half splits, drawing our big toe towards our chin, straightening our leg. Bend the knee, and then heel toe the foot to the outer edge of the mat, finding lizard pose. Beginning by inhaling, left palm up, exhaling over. Bringing the arm down, deep inhale, exhale into our twist. It may just be a gentle twist here, or perhaps you want to bend the back knee and find the bind. And some days this works, some days it doesn't. Exhale, unwind, and then heel toe your foot all the way back across the mat as we make our way into pigeon pose. So again, turning the toes under, dragging the pelvis back, equally distributing the weight, and then deciding how parallel you want the shin based on how deep you want the stretch. And then when you're ready, start to walk it out, settling in, finding your comfortable point to hold for at least a minute. Let's use our next inhale to slowly draw the chest back upright. Front knee joins the back knee. Finding yourself in tabletop once more. And let's flow through Shakavakasana or cat-cow. So inhaling, belly drops down. Exhale, tucking and rounding. Let's make our way back into neutral spine. This is where we're going to re-engage the core, and we're going to take one leg out and we're going to alternate. So this is spinal balance. And when you alternate your legs, you're not lifting them any higher than hip height, okay? Our big toe points straight down to the mat. Gaze is looking between the thumbs, and if you feel ready, go ahead and add an opposite arm lift. So we're inhaling length into the spine. Exhale as we lower back down. Lots of core work here, so we have to keep the core engaged throughout the entire range of motion. It might feel nice on your shoulders to aim the thumb up to the ceiling. The next time our right arm and left leg are out and extended, we're going to pause here for a breath. Inhale, open out to a 45-degree angle. Inhale back to the center, and then exhale, find the bind. So gently pulling the heel in towards your low back. You're gonna feel the stretch here in the front of the thigh. Gentle stretch through the quad. And then you're gonna press the foot into the palm, which is gonna create some spinal extension, also opens the shoulder and the chest. Exhale, Release the leg across, big toe to the floor, peek over your shoulder looking for the big toe. Release back to center. Inhale, opposite arm and leg long. Inhale, open out 45 degrees. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale, bend the knee, and then reach for the foot. And if you can reach on the side, go ahead and pull the heel in towards the low back, feeling the stretch through the front of the thigh and the quad. And then exhale, press into the foot, creating the bind, really opening up the chest and the shoulder. Exhale, release. Take the leg across, look over your shoulder to your big toe. Release your way back to center, open the knees up, take one last child's pose. Let's take the palms together, thumbs come behind your neck. Slowly release. And let's come onto our tailbone, coming into Navasana or boat pose. So we can start with our hands behind our hips, chest proud, spine long, lift the legs. And it's okay to leave the hands here for support. Belly button is engaged, working hard here. Or maybe add the arms. You can even straighten your legs, but let's really make sure we keep the spine long, belly tight. So we're gonna hold 3 more full cycles of breath, and then we'll meet in reverse incline plank or reverse tabletop. Whichever one you choose, let's point fingertips towards the hips. Slowly lift the hips as high as you can, and then when you think you've reached your end point, push them up another inch higher. Really feel the opening through the shoulders and the front of the chest. Exhale, slowly release back down. I'm going to give you a couple options. If you're near the wall, you can use the wall for this stretch. If you're not near the wall, that's okay too. So I'm going to use the wall. I'm going to bring my hips just a little bit closer to the wall. We're all going to tuck our tailbones under until we're all the way down onto our mats. I'm going to take my right foot on the wall, creating a 90-degree bend, and then I'm going to cross my left leg over. So it's a kind of a seated pigeon or figure 4. And if you're not near the wall, you'll just reach behind your thigh and hug this into your chest. But if you are on the wall, we can use the wall as a prop. So if I want this stretch to be more intense, I will move my hips closer to the wall. If I want it to be less intense, move my hips farther away from the wall. Another way to add intensity is to very, very gently press the thigh towards the wall a little bit closer. That'll get a little deeper into the hip opening. Breathe. And then open up the arms to the side. Let's let the foot fall all the way over towards the floor. And if the floor is too far away, just use your block or cushion to catch the foot so it's not just dangling in space. Inhale. Slowly make your way back upright. Opposite foot comes to the wall. Start with that 90-degree bend, opposite leg across. And again, if you're not near the wall, just hugging this thigh into your chest. If you are using the wall, perhaps pressing the upper thigh towards the wall, making that a little bit deeper. And opening up your arms, allowing the foot to work its way down towards the floor. And if it's too far on this side, just closing your distance with a block or a cushion. Countering the twist to make it more intense involves looking away from the knees. Inhale, bring the knees back to center. And let's move into final relaxation or Shavasana. If you're still near the wall, you're welcome to take legs up the wall for Shavasana. And notice how far my hips are right now from the wall. That's gonna make it easier for my low back and hamstrings. So let's say I want a little deeper stretch. I can roll to my side and just work my hips a little bit closer to the wall and then bring my legs up the wall. So this is going to make it a little more intense as far as hamstring and low back opener. So again, finding your comfortable position for final relaxation. Doesn't have to be legs up the wall. It can be any other comfortable position. We're all gonna close our eyes, bringing our awareness back to our breath, breathing as deep as we can, and then giving ourselves this time to let our minds and our bodies simply be. Keeping our eyes closed, slowly begin to bring your awareness back into this space. Let's awaken the body by gently wiggling our fingers and our toes. If your legs are still at the wall, we'll slide the heels down, bending the knees. We'll all take one arm overhead. And we're going to gently roll onto that side, keeping our knees bent in fetal position. Staying here as long as you need to, only when you're ready. Pressing the palm into the mat in front of the chest, and then helping yourself back up into a comfortable seated position. Eyes can remain closed if that's comfortable. Sit up really tall, 3 big shoulder rolls to the back. On our third roll, we're gonna leave our shoulder blades pressing down towards our back pockets, where we're gonna try to leave them the rest of the day. And we're gonna end with 2 breaths. First one's a cleansing breath, inhaling deep through the nose, big audible exhale through the mouth, side out. And one more big breath in, and exhale, hands to heart center. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today.